Welcome to the June 11th Water Commissioners meeting. Just as a reminder, this is being recorded for future use. May minutes. Why make a motion to accept last month's minutes? Second. Okay. Third. Appointments. Done. Correspondence. Jessica and Alex. Well, nine, I think you've already put it. The Carol. I'm done. Sorry for the impronunciation. Did you want to elaborate on the pool?
So, well, they destroy the timeline there. So when we had the main break on Frankie Lane, spoke with Dave something to do with water. Is that the irrigation or
Just irrigation and not essential stuff.
So then we sent them just here somewhere, we sent them a first effects saying, well, giving them what they can and can't do. And then we got several calls from the neighbors, and we went and took pictures of him power washing his driveway. So we ended up putting in a second offense in violation, and then just let her continue the regs, he can appeal to violations. So that's why I can send the letter in. Melissa, and we have a little bit thing. She talked to him, or his wife came in, both.
So his wife came in with both letters. So Taylor spoke with him during the break because they saw him using water. We didn't issue anything at that time. We had an operator see non-essential water use between irrigation as well as water on our driveway from him just recently power washing his driveway. So we sent them a first notice. They came in, she came in, and I spoke to her, gave her the official water ban of what can and can't be done. Explained to her that irrigation is not allowed. Okay, we'll not be doing that, fix that. We had another operator see that the irrigation had been used, but at that time, the husband was power washing the driveway with immense amounts of water.
That's why driveway to that first mother as well.
And so when she came in the second time, because the letter does say non-essential use was why, and so she had mentioned about the fact that her irrigation system was going haywire because of some app, and I explained to her that actually it's because the husband was witnessed with the power washing, and so she said she was going to appeal it because they did not realize that power washing was part of. But like I mentioned to her that it had been seen irrigation, but that's not why she was getting the notice. It was because of the power.
True, and one. So we
Looks like Augusta.
So we basically gave them the first warning, the second warning, and they still continue to do what they,
If we gave him a warning without actually sending them an official warning.
and then you gave them
We gave him an official
warning, and then you gave them a second warning with the $500.
Yeah.
I say we uphold the fine and inject her appeal just because of the situation that what they put themselves into. I mean, the thing there, even though they bring the irrigation, they are now. This is still their property. So, okay, like it. They were warned twice where they motion. Before we second that, I just want to add to that, appeals, obviously you have a right to appeal, but in the situation that we're in, and with the water ban that established, we are not going to come off of our fine system. They're not gonna, oh, sorry, yeah, we'll do this for you. It is what it is. It's awful. But we have to, stick to our point and stick to our policy. Or we put a lot of work into, they're going to the EP and we have a water ban, have the condition of special permit that don't water. Okay, so we have to in the work, and we talk long and hard about the fines, the notification procedure, and things like that. I think to go backwards on something like this, when it's, they got the break, that's just verbal heads up, like they on the letter, and they're claiming that the app that and then to physically be out there with the power washing your driveway. I mean, yeah.
Oh, the other thing, when they go up to their home in their cars, they go right by the blinking sign
Yes.
when you charge them left.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you have to wait for the traffic coming down the hill. So you see the sign, you can't miss it. On top of the fact, but now they've been notified.
I think there's plenty of notification on, on our website, on the sign, the town. Yeah, so I'm,
And on the notification that we send out, we notify them of where it is published.
Right.
On top of
so
the
going,
first warning gets,
Yep.
there's a section that explains to them where it is.
and the thing is, in the first letter you sent out, I mean, the hard one actually, it shows that, it weren't caught the first day, they sent a letter and the letter crossed with the second violation. Okay, they had enough time to be noted of violation, they get the notice, okay, just like they had a couple of 3 weeks and then they do it again. So I held the board, I thought, if the quorum have a quorum, you already said, I'm sorry. So motion's on the table, Bob's motion, do I hear a second? Yep. All in favor? Aye. So the fine we're making. Great. Very No, actually, it's the blessing. Tommy knows you're in the meeting. Financials.
Okay, so May 31st, we have an opening balance of 1,630,000. We have receipts of 1,031,000 and purchase of 200,000 for a closing balance of 2,524,000. Each two. 11,531, revenue this fiscal year, 4,705,479. The last year, 2,323,070. Operating expenses, 2,428,711. The last year, 1,899,712. Interest income, 29,332. The last year, 128,081. Net income, 2,342,004. Last year, 1,542,430. Water revenue only, 3,131,279. The last year, 2,659,240. Connection fee, 1,555,400. The last year, 588,600. Capital expenditures, for improvement, 263,025. I will the budget of maybe 25,000. Vehicle 0 out of the 75,000. A new account for driveway paving, 50,000. Another new account for street well pump, 50,000. And this 100 pilot study water quality. I set up a new account for that, but it should actually be part of one down below the engineering feature P5 for public staff limits. With the Pigeon Hill tank booster, 19900, 2,573 out of the 2 million. The bridge of P5, 648,007. I would just watch you 525. Professional services, power line drive foliate, 13,427, 50,000. What's the street, street, SRF? 792,000 is present, and I think it's way between one. Then we do foliate, SRF, 51,035, and the liquidity 3,928. Grade 3 million. Relationship for week. Each block cash account. NBC, 1,857,027. Depository, 514,000. Unipay, 73,511. Zero, 45,183. Debit card, 5,004. Vendor, 84,000, minus 1.2. For a total of 2,524,187. Plus the post testing bird. Under 40,405, with a green total of 3,165,750.
Right. But welcome to a step, looks of connect report. Why not go on clarify? The rule. You're right. What's on the district council first one, non-SPC report.
Good morning.
One.
First, I'd like to congratulate Andy on his reelection.
Hey,
Hey.
thank you.
And I don't know if Anne's there, but if she's there, congratulations. My number 1, 2, and 3 are pretty self-explanatory. I got to run off to another meeting for Mass Waterworks. The only thing I want to talk about is number 4. Been in conversation with Anne, and we met the other day down at Follett Street. Part of the SRF funding application, we get extra points if we want to do civic duties or do some recreational improvements for the town. And she'd been talking to me a while back about a dog park, and the field we were going to put the treatment plant down on Follett Street. I don't know if anybody remembers where the old house was, which was closer towards the Wilkinsonville, Sutton end of that field. So we're going to have a couple acres left over in that field that we're not going to be using. And just wanted to know your feelings on the potential for possible dog park there in the future, and whether or not we could use that as part of our treatment plan and hopefully get more points for our SRF funding. So wouldn't be anything the district would fund, but we just basically supply the land for the park, which would just be a fenced in area where people could bring their dogs to walk. So just wanted to get your opinions.
If general public is running on our property to get to the dog park, are we covered for liability for that? Who assumes that liability?
We could have the town do a rider. And obviously we could do the same thing. Those things would need to be worked out, sure. But yeah, the town would provide a rider for insurance, as well as, we'd have one in our insurance anyways. So, I mean, people walk all over our land now. So,
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the dog park.
I mean, it might never come to fruition, but it's just, something that the town's been looking for, because the one at Tufts kind of got a little squashed. I mean, people can still use it, but it's not like it used to be. So,
I mean, just what every town is building one.
Yeah.
They got one in Millbury, they got one in Northborough, and they're kind of all over the place now. It's almost expected. Moving the town, someone's got a dog park. They get more on it. Probably a good location for it. I mean, hopefully it's far enough away from.
yeah, it's out of the riverfront, of the wetlands.
This is why the doggy bag.
Yeah.
The others have done.
The other, so easily contract that, who's gonna supply them, the town or us?
Probably,
Yeah, we'd have nothing to do with it, maintenance wise or anything like
Okay, the
that.
maintenance of it and everything they'll take care of?
Yeah, we would have nothing to do with it basically, except, provide them with a couple of,
Available.
memorandum of summit understanding of the use, and if we'd ever needed a land that, we would be able to take it back. So we're not going to sell them the land.
Well, we're not gonna give them the land anyway.
well, we'll let them borrow. it. We'll let them borrow.
Yep.
Twenty pounds.
I don't have any issues with it. Yep.
Okay.
Not right now, I don't think.
Other than that, I got to run. So I don't think you guys need me for the rest of the meeting. So,
You,
okay. Take care. Thank you.
thank you.
We're gonna go back to bed now?
Yeah,
Waterworks, if they get them out.
Okay.
You got to be down at Devon's for 9:00. And then I'll see you, Adam, at 11 on that other Zoom.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Take care.
Hey,
All right.
you been saying it.
Superintendent reports.
East Street. So we got the motor in. Once I put the motor in, there's a vibration, so they had to take the shaft out of the motor, fix that. Plus then East Street was down while the cleaning oil. Well, anyway, it's back up and running. While we're on that subject, VFD, one of the VFDs is down, so we've got one VFD running one motor. Got a quote from the electrician that was there doing the work on the motor, for it's basically $30,000 or new to again. It runs the motor like they're a repeat drive. So it starts out slow, it ramps up, and then when the water level drops, the ramps back down.
Yep.
So because it's so much, I called around to get some quotes. Couple other places, never the factory. There was a guy that did finally get back and came out. Tuesday, I believe it was, getting and looked at it. I'm still waiting to get a quote. Once I get those quotes, I'll be ordering that. It's probably going to be 15 weeks to get it in. The more I'm comfortable, thanks, I'm going to get the work out. Keeping our fingers crossed that the other VFD holds up. It is a good original equipment from 2003. So that's loads.
No, we should get a bunch of them.
And then, you guys need to appoint a new chairman of the board.
I know we appoint Bob.
Or I can just continue with it. It doesn't matter the name. How you do. I don't know anything. What you know.
We were gonna do it last week, but you weren't a last meeting.
Right.
And he didn't want to slip it to you while you weren't here. So now we'll do it while you're here.
knows the ramifications because of that. Right. That was my fear. You guys decide and show up wearing the crown. Either you take it or I can do it. If you're okay fishing it, I think you can do a great job. Especially in this time of, I'm gonna talk to people and navigate. If you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. Okay.
I don't care. I don't want to.
So long as it's not him.
Then I will continue. You'll have to make a motion on that. And make a motion that Michael Porter remaining that's the current chairman of the board. What? But all in favor? Alrighty. Right. Congratulations. Thank you. And thank you.
Also, just an update on the water bear buildings and time back in your packet. Just printed up a list of people that are ever given first warnings to, but obviously highlighted ones. The second one, we had 1 second word, but just so you guys are aware of what we're doing.
Then Pleasant Street one on.
Yeah, just went out. There's, I think 2 more.
Well, these people that were notified, been any comments or emails coming back to the office about what's going on? Or?
So we've had a few that actually are not on there that were first warnings due to irrigation
Right.
meter use.
Right.
And so what we've been doing is they are called to say that they have their faucets connected. And so what I've been doing is having an operator, scheduling an operator to verify that there's water connection.
Yes.
And once we verify that there's hoses connected, and I've told them, all right, as long as there's no excessive use that should be seen with irrigation systems, they're fine.
Yeah, I thought when I was on a well where I was on the water, I know there's a water main car their house.
Yeah. I mean, it might behoove somebody if they're irrigating with a well, they want to put out little golf cart signs with water because, people knowing the ban, they're going to start ratting on, and they have been.
Have been.
You have time that said well water and you. Yeah, just put up a little sign so
Yeah.
I
think with businesses be allowed it anyway.
Oh, no, but I'm just saying, he's had those signs up for years,
I'm gonna say it,
For the most part,
it is working. You look at our company, the one we have been this time of year, typically done a lot of cheater. It's it's working very well. It's not perfect, no doubt about it, obviously. We're not expecting it, but the dirty water calls are much less, and I think the quality is better. Well,
I'm just, it's actually a guy in Sunrise that has a little pump and pumps it out of the river behind his house. Water for.
we'll say,
one is those on pumping on the days that there was
payment plan produces.
That's extra. Well, that's extra fertilizer.
for that.
And then the rules and regs, basically started for, well, I mean, guys, just take a look at them, but not changing a whole lot, some wording and some, really fun. Some clarity in others, but the in red is what they'll be.
I read them offline, they seem to be
Yeah, in general, it's already earth shattering industry.
Guys, not keep that.
And as Adam said, the pumping is down between that and we got leak detection done in April. And we've got 99% of the leaks fixed. We're just working on a couple of hydrants that are most leaks will still be fixed.
How much was the pumping down from last year for this one? They're usually looking to then get around 1 point. Right now. Want to add it, but overall on a month, how much are we down?
I don't have the month number, but I can get them together for you. You know what, I was actually, while I was looking at this and then we were talking, it would help us, I think, if we could actually have like last year's with this as well. I'm not looking for having like 6 months until I was like May of 2024 with that number versus 24.
Yeah.
Exactly.
April, we had 51 and then it was
Yeah, no, I'm
down 10%.
Yeah, I must have looked at it.
Wow.
Something like that can be helpful, like what we're seeing. And now I'm assuming that peak day 527 set a week. We're probably good with Frank Ryan to be out there. Yeah. No, unfortunately, you're going to pump that much just because.
Yep, I'm actually thinking it. We could recommend that. Or
Frankie Lane was there.
Dave, thank you.
I know, Mason.
Yeah, so I just to top off on the hydrant week. We had, like, I went around and listened to all the hydrants, and I found 6 of them that were still leaking. That's a right now. I believe 3 of them have fixed. We have 3 more left to go. The hydrants themselves are still operable for fire department, stuff like that, which is moderate. Wow, they're leaking down below. So, but they're all. One of them, 3 took a fire gap setting that complete finished, and when they get in the fire, they shut the valve, we can down right out on the seat stuff, just like I think that Pleasant Street. Yeah. Hydrants.
With the 9 years old.
Yeah, it's I can't get what optional people go. What the shiny was, and Pleasant Street was a newer. And they get expensive and stuff like that. But for the most part, the guys do a really good job identifying them, bringing them back and fixing them in a timely manner.
Well, again, lots taking care of.
In the process of all of what we moved that we had here, we have some commissioner, which you pulled around you that. But We found commissioners finders, shattering, I believe, maybe. This is literally like something you guys need to take home if you wanted to have like things with you at all times. You know, our act, our bylaws, rules and regs, personal regs, all the stuff that we have. I was looking to update this because it's been like 2017 that Harry things were brought into the water. Either I'm going to make the effort or not make the effort to update, and I want to know what you guys thought. I figured I think it should be updated. Okay, so I'll update all three of them for you, and they'll be here, and then you can take them back to your own food. But that way, it's something that you bring.
And we should probably even review that every so often, just to, update the app again.
Well, yeah, I mean, we definitely we've updated the rules and regs a few times where I've been there. So I mean, it's something that once it's updated, just print up 3 copies and leave them here for you guys or whatever.
No, that'd be perfect. Thank you.
Also to special needs fund lawsuit, the 3M lawsuit. So we've been, Matt and I have been working on this whole thing, being involved in that. Hopefully we can get a little bit of money out of it for, this treatment plant. But we pushed off this whole special needs fund, because of the amount of all work that we had to have put into it. But they simplified it, and Melissa was very nice enough to look up all of our receipts and everything from 2023 on the current, and they just pushed it back to August. So basically what that means is it's a second lawsuit that we're a part of the first one that we're putting ourselves into as well, with all of the stuff that we're doing now. So all the piloting, all of the PFAS testing, all of the engineering that's being done. The other thing is we actually somehow break ground and we spend some money at that point too. That also could probably be a portion of it. So we'll give you the number that we're looking at right now. We're going to want to keep that while it's only going to high. We're adding to it. We're adding to it or whatever we can. Look out from the feedback stuff. So anything that has to go to that, we'll do. And then I did not put this on the rules and regs for right now, but one of the biggest things that I did when I was in Lycansville for we put what's called a double check indicator on backflows for fire suppression systems, like UPF will have 27 rides or more. So they're going to have 26, 27 devices. With the double check, what we've been putting on most of our locations, we ship a double check. We've got it once a year. That, and for instance, there's a place on Centec right there, or Centennial, the brilliant place where I go there every year and that backflow fails. Come and fix it. And I believe it's some usage inside the building. There's no meters on these things, this doesn't happen. So we have an unaccounted for water. I was thinking that we could update our rule to reg and paper exchange it. We'll ask you that we double check indicators put as in backflow. Because what the indicator is, it actually has another meter on it. And it indicates small flow if there was a leak somewhere or something like that. If they do a massive test of their system, we should be notifying them of this so we can indicate them that, hey, they blew 700 gallons of medic for 3 minutes, up this stuff, add it up, This would be something also that can at least, even if we don't bill them for this water, it's also something we can put down and say, oh, this many gallons, these thousands of gallons that people use that accountability. Yes. And hopefully take this third of accountable water and just drop some of it, So it's just something I'm looking into to put on the roll of rags. I figure, again, it's something easy. And all of our current double check devices can actually be retrofitted to have the meters put in if we wanted to, but that would be that's of course on the customer. I'm not sure what you. Well, you're talking plumbing. You got it. Basically, you have your double check where it comes out of it, and you have between all the valves that we use, they have just like 2 ball valves come out 90 degrees and then the meter. Now, I also don't think it's a meter that we would supply. We usually come with these double check indicators. It's just something that when we would make a point that we would go read when we go test these things. We only got double checks once a year, but we are getting to them. Basically every 12 months, it's something that we could, move. Indicate on Dave's report for CCR, like that, say they use, an extra 500 gallons. It may not add up to much, but you get a bunch of them, they'll add up, it'll do something. So it's just it's literally just a roll of red tape. Like you're required to use a double check in your care instead of just a double check.
Yeah, well, you said that it would be their responsibility to buy it. If it leaks, their responsibility to get fixed. Well,
Yeah, it
really
really
doesn't do much. Just says the
It
double
still
check.
doesn't have anything to do with us right now. It's more just adding that extra barrier of like the meter we can read if they're done equal.
Now, what is the threshold and person of company you where you have to put this in? You don't have to put this in on every other, like every backflow capacity.
Not every time. No, if it's RPZ now, because they dump anyway, and you won't get that water. That's all reading for it. But on double checks, you would get it. And it's more just because they're buying these things anyway. Like, you know, they're the ones installing them when they build their buildings and everything like that. So it's really nothing to us. It's just another reason. I'm trying to find every red hot. And then Matt and I could, you know, fine tooth everything when it came down to even Trinity. Because at one point in time, I'm thinking like meter here should be here, piping wise and stuff like that. And then we figured out what they was where they were and try to find them. So anything we can do to help out. I mean, I think obviously fixing all the hydrant leaks, we can and knowing that they're fixed, all the leaks that we've had. In one Brigham Hill, 4 or 6 Brigham Hill, when that leak got fixed, we literally dropped windows from the show. We just tore it down and like that down the next day. I was like, oh, nice. It was so just something I'm looking into.
Well, but also quality water and certification and accountability, you know.
Why should backflow fail in the first place?
Every single year, you know, that like it doesn't make sense. But main all those things. One new top. Look, this one, everything else is secondary.
Yep.
You know.
And they're really good. Not to put anything on them, but they're literally right next to the new UPS. Nobody, you know, there's maybe 7 people that work in that building.
The thing is, if you've got to fill backflow every year, you know, I'm not a scientist, I'm not an engineer. I'm starting to question what's in the water that's causing the backflow to fail.
Yep.
Very lucky people get it wrong. You know, so having an extra indicator, again, for the safety of the system, move the water. Yep.
Good. I will put them out for the road regs just to update that and then when they're looking to go and they can make it happen.
All right, thank you. Old business and wiring. New business, I want to bring something up on the new business, which was kind of out of subdivision. Thank you. With Gavin's prerogative. I was just sitting here just adding everything up. And we have, you know, in the next year or so, maybe 2, depending on, you know, over 560 actual units going in.
575.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, I was just,
And that doesn't count what some of those 2 years before they added to it.
I just want to make sure that we can properly supply the demand. And you know, it's a sore subject with some, but I just think that's something that we have to really start looking at. You know, obviously we get it all approved, ready to go. You know, with our situation with, you know, the treatment plant, you know, and so on. We do have basically a well down right now. We have
No, everything's wrong.
everything right, trending, right. So I just want to make sure that we're not overextending.
Well, like I said, last year we did the study. It did study with nothing has been added since then.
Yeah. Well, just
And they said that, you know, we're good. No, I mean, obviously if Trinity was up and running, it would be
right,
more.
right, exactly. I
mean, it's that Trinity is not forbidden to use, but you're just gonna get very water.
Okay.
Well, along those lines though, Mike, where's another well gonna come from? Because we turned down the reapplication from one of the business people that wanted to pick a lot of water.
Right.
So people are talking about bringing in industrial or business growth in the town. We can't accommodate that. And at the same time, where is the next well going to be?
Well, I
The high school Or is it someplace else with tested?
I just want to make sure that we don't, especially until these plants are still going, that we don't overextend that well to us down. Yeah, we can do that. And we can't do it.
Well, like Ken just said, we've already pulled one capsule. We
You're
can't
right.
do that.
No, that should start looking for another well site.
Well, Matt just, was it last fall? We did with it's fracking up off, Willard Street and what the Weston Road area, but that,
But
no, it didn't pan out.
It might have actually be another while. Then again, once all deeds are done too, much land more to build up.
Well, there is, but not with this water right now. They'd have to run water to it.
Exactly, yeah.
But I mean, and once we get Trinity and, once Trinity and Collect Street together.
I agree. But I'm just
We'll
saying,
have, that'll be have a million gallons a day.
right. But until that time, I think we should be,
I'm with you, and don't forget, when million gallons a day is great.
like when there's obviously irrigation.
True. So when you're putting all that together, you kind of see the wear and tear. It's going to be on the plants and everything after that. So it is tough. It never want to obviously diminish or stop growth at all.
No, I just want to make sure that, the growth that we have is taken care of and the people that we have are taken care of. Without, again, we did reject that business because of the excessive water use.
Yeah, they wanted extreme acceptance.
Right. But I'm just
Which is
saying,
why we did that study last year,
Exactly.
because when all these were coming down, before we started signing our names and everything, we wanted to make sure that we had our water. And it's basically for us coming first serve. Like if that company had come in before all these came in and we said, yeah, we got the water, and then these came in, we'd say, sorry, we don't have.
And the ground is going to continue to grow all of North Grafton.
oh, no, I get it. I just want to say, until these plants are gone, what are they looking at you?
They still do it for electric pumps a day. Yeah. On
400.
yeah, 400,000 a day.
And they wanted 40 gallons a day.
That was average. It could be up to 1 million a day, or it could be just a little way less. Like even, and not to be the stupid, I don't know, but they
Town that can actually operate for that. Basically, you basically just gave them what street if you could get that in the month and say, okay, so we'll have, we're each street for the rest of the town, we'd be in serious trouble right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think the sewer department should. But it's, look,
No,
I mean, let's just do with these subdivisions, like Grafton Clearview, it's only one remaining. Yeah, well done, but I mean, like you're adding things up, right? Some of these roads here, like
Winslow will probably be off.
Highfield Space 2, McGill finishing, like, I don't think there's any more houses.
They're finishing the last one now.
Yeah, Adrena Lane, it's 5 lots left. Libby Lane is
Libby will be off.
got a lot.
They're finishing the townhouses.
And yeah, one of the condo buildings already built, and I believe almost fully occupied. The other one is being built. But you've got a lot of these units are actually down the bottom 4, which have nothing obviously, which it still adds up to a lot, right? But everything up top, for the most part, is hopefully going to be able to come on.
I keep reminding myself, how many rides did you get? 27? We're 27, something like that. Okay, when we built Amazon, we put 600,000 square feet. Well, each building was 330, and there were 9 rides. Right? I think you're reminding myself, each ride was only 25,000 square feet coverage.
I think EPS is less.
Less than 25,000 square feet.
Yeah, they wanted extra.
Heatery and wow. But it's all different zones.
Yeah.
It's 20 something.
Yeah, trust me, when we said it, they were like, what?
How big is the main over again? 16? 8. It's only 8 on.
That's the meter that they just purchased when they didn't even blink with the check.
Yeah.
They didn't blink at all.
yeah, we'll look at each other.
All right.
Single family application, up to you there sometime.
No, comment more, before you move on from that. That was something that, we discussed bringing up for the future select board meeting, that just consulting with both the water districts to make sure that we're not overextending ourselves on future developments and that you're comfortable with growth and things like that. So, appreciate we having the discussion today. It might be something that we invite
you into a future meeting just to discuss. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, I just want to, keep it always, on forefront just because, and again, we want to try and supply the best product that we can. And we don't want to,
In the study we did too, we even included in one off of Snow Road that's not on here yet. So if that comes to fruition, right, that's been our work in.
yeah, and it's just, keeping the communication open. We want, if we can't, we need an audit. No, we're just relying on.
No, I think when we get to that, if we get to that point, especially before our PFAS plants are done, we will let the town know that, where we're at. Where we, need to really start looking at, a house here or there is one thing, but when the 500 units going in some way, definitely.
Right, our next meeting is July 9th. Order of. Hope everybody has a happy short. Hopefully it doesn't rain.
It's Friday, why rain the third?
Motion to adjourn. Wait, move it.